Hello, hello, everybody. Hola, hola a todos. Thank you so much for being here, listening to Spanish with Karla, episode 5. Can you believe it? Oh my God. Well, today we are recording in a different location, and it probably sounds a little different than normal. Don't worry about it. Next week we will go back to the regular sound that you are used to. Okay. So today we are going to do a little more light episode to call it somehow. Why? Because last week we had an episode that was really complicated, and I believe that I want to give you a little break. I do believe that sometimes when you push things too hard, then people might get overwhelmed, and I do not want to cause that you say, oh no, this is too hard, I don't want to learn Spanish anymore. So uh, we're gonna do something a little lighter today, easier to digest, and hopefully you enjoy it, because I'm gonna give you some different words and stuff that is gonna be really very useful for you. Before I start with our fifth lesson, I would like to invite you to send us feedback, to ask questions or request information or whatever whatever you want to know. You can send us an email at feedback at iacast.net. Okay, feedback at iacast.net. Also, let me tell you, we have our website, which is SpanishWithKarla.com. And on this website, you can find every single episode as well as all the notes that we have posted. You have it all in one same link. So you can go and start from the beginning or go back and review or whatever you need. You can find it easier there rather than having to go and jump from one and other episode on whatever site that you use to listen to your podcast. Also, we have a Facebook group, and it's called Spanish with Karla. Remember, Karla is with a K. That's going to make it easier for you to find it, because I don't know if there is another one with the C, but don't look for her. Just look for mine. So we have that group, Spanish with Karla, with the K, on Facebook. And we also have a page, same name. And so you can also find us there, find some, the notes and different comments. Feel free to comment or ask questions or, anything you want. Okay, ¿estás listo? That means, are you ready? ¿Estás listo? Are you ready? Okay, so if you listen to that, ¿estás listo? I'm not saying tú, because it's not necessary. When you say estás, and that's spelled E as an elephant, S as in Sam, T as in tomato, A as in apple with an accent, S as in Sam, estás, that's implying the you. And like I always say, if you say, tú estás listo, is that going to be wrong? No, it's just going to sound weird. All right. But people are going to still understand that he's going to say, oh, why is he saying or she's saying? Okay. So, ¿estás listo? ¿Estás lista? Yeah, so that would be the way to say it. And hopefully you said yes, because we're going to start right now. Ready or not? Here we go. Okay. So last week we were talking about, at the end of the lesson, we were talking about words that describe things in a house. Okay. And we learned house is said casa. Then we learned door, which is puerta. We learned cocina, which is kitchen. We learned sala, which is living room. And we learned ventana, which is, do you remember or did you forget already? Shame on you. Okay, so ventana means window. Okay, those are the 5 words that we learned last week. And I told you that I was going to give you 10 this week. So I'm going to give you 5 more that go with the house. And then I'm going to give you another 5 extras that you are going to need as well, and a few phrases today. Okay, so the next one that we're going to learn is going to be recámara. Grab your pencil or open your notes taking whatever and let's spell it. That's going to be R as in Robert, E as in elephant, C as in cat, A as in apple with an accent, M as in Mary, A as in apple, R as in Robert, A as in apple. Recámara, recámara, recámara. That means like your room where you go to sleep, right? And some people call it cuarto, but that's not the right way to translate it. Let's learn cuarto as well, and I'm gonna type it so I don't forget that you need the notes of that one as well. But cuarto basically means room. Okay, but many people like we say here in the States, right? Okay, go to your room, you're punished. But mom. Okay, so same thing. But we call it like that in Spanish too, right? Ve a tu cuarto. But the more correct way to say it is recámara. Okay, so let's learn both of them. All right, so recámara is the more correct way, but if you say ¿cuál es mi cuarto? Everybody's gonna know you mean also, the room in like your hotel room or whatever when you go to sleep. So cuarto is spelled C as in cat, U as in umbrella, A as in apple, R as in rabbit, T as in tomato, O as in Oscar. Cuarto, cuarto, cuarto. Okay, so now we have two ways to say, your room where you're going to sleep. We have recámara, which is more specific, the place where you go to sleep, the room in which you go to sleep, basically more specific. And then we have cuarto, which means room, but it's kind of obvious too that it means where you go to sleep. Okay, so you just got a bonus word, another one. So that's pretty cool. So let's go with the next one, which is another one. It's called comedor. And that is basically the place where it's your formal dining area, right? Many people have a little table in the kitchen and everybody can go and eat there. But the more formal dining area, basically in your house, is going to be comedor. C as in cat, O as in Oscar, M as in Mary, E as in elephant, D as in dog, O as in Oscar, R as in rabbit. Comedor. Okay, something curious about this, or not curious, kind of obvious, right? But okay, do you remember that we have talked about this? The act of eating, basically, or the verb eating or eat, is said come, C-O-M-E. So basically, comedor means the place where people eat, basically, right? So kind of refrigerator, kind of like that, in Spanish also refrigerador. So then it's the same. It's the beginning of the word, that root, that Latin root, right? And then, so that's comedor, the place where people eat. Okay, comedor. So we have now recámara, cuarto, comedor, comedor, comedor. Okay, let's go with the next one. The next one is going to be basically the garage. Okay. Now, in Latin American countries, or in most of them that I know of, basically, I don't want to generalize, the place where you park your car is called cochera. Cochera. And I'm gonna spell it for you. C as in cat, O as in Oscar, C as in cat, H as in hotel, E as in elephant, R as in rabbit, A as in apple. There is two things that I want to tell you about this word. And the reason why I'm telling you, I'm dividing these words in two to show you, is because that's going to be easier for you to remember and learn them. So when you say comedor and you find the first part of the word that is come, you know that it has to do with eating, right? Now, cochera, another way in Spanish that we say car, car, you can say carro, which is almost like car. You just add another R and a no at the end. So carro. But we also call it coche, Coche. Coche is another way that you can say the word car. So cochera is basically the place in which you put your car or you park your car. Okay. It can be completely closed or it can be just covered by like a little roof or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be completely closed. It might be open on the sides or whatever, but that's the place that is made in a house to park your car. Normally it's on there a little cover area. So again, the same way that we are doing comedor and we're remembering comer, now you know that cochera, which means the place in which you can park your car, where it's going to be inside your house, safe. The first half of that word means coche, which means car. You're learning so many words today. See, we're getting all kinds of different words. And you know what? I'm gonna do my best to remember to type all the extra words that I'm telling you. That way you can keep it in your notes and you can relate it to it. But I just want you to remember that it's not because it has to do with the lesson. It's because I believe that this is gonna help you remember or associate one word with the other one if you know the meaning of the first part of the word or the root. Mostly is Latin. Okay, so the next word is going to be, I think we already learned this one, baño. And you remember that is B as in boy, A as in apple, ñ, or the N with the tilde on top, and then O, baño. And this is bathroom. Now, the same way that in English you have the bathroom as a general idea of the room itself, but also we have the place in which you go and do the stuff that nobody can do for you. And you also have the place in which you take a shower. So let's go with the toilet first. And that one is going to be really hard to spell. So grab your marker or get ready. I'm going to try to be slow because it's kind of, yeah. Are you ready? Okay. So it's going to start E as an elephant, S as in Sam, C as in cat, U as an umbrella, S as in Sam, A as in apple, D as in dog, O as in Oscar. What? Yep, it's pronounced escusado. I mean, still, what I told you since day one, I mean, it is true. The way it's spelled is the way it sounds in Spanish. Okay. So it's a long word and everything, but it sounds exactly as it's written. So you don't need to worry about, oh, how does the A sound? Well, it's just the same. Excusado is basically the toilet. Okay. I'm not going to tell you the other one, the one that you go standing up, because that's going to be for another lesson. So I want to give you just this one general, excusado, which is the toilet. And then I'm going to give you the shower. Okay. Shower is spelled R as in Robert, E as in elephant, G as in giraffe, A as in apple, D as in dog, E as in elephant, R as in rabbit, A as in apple. Regadera. Regadera. Okay, this one also, well, I don't want to confuse you with this one. So let's forget the root and I just tell you regadera. when I go to this one, when I teach you the other word in the future, I'm going to remind you how it relates to regadera. But it has to do with, say, for example, when you water the plants, is said regar. And that means basically spray the water or, whatever. So if the water comes on that same way, through all those little holes and in a bigger, not in a high pressure, right? That's going to be regar. So the name comes from the same concept, regadera. Okay, so basically we have learned, let's recap real fast. So let's do casa, puerta, cocina, sala, ventana, recámara, comedor, cochera, baño, regadera. Okay. So now this is the interesting part about this lesson. We have another 5 words that I'm going to give you later. But I really want to start using this concept. So you remember the last week we did yo soy blah blah blah. Tú eres blah blah blah. Okay. So those were, people, right? That's conjugation on gender and also number, the amount of people that you are talking about. Now, when we are talking about objects, it doesn't get as complicated. Okay. In Spanish, you also need to use like an article, like the word that define the same way that in Spanish we use the, right? That and excuse my accent, but you know that in English you use the same the or da for anything. It doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine. You use the same. Okay. Now in Spanish, you have to use the gender of the object. Okay. And also the number of objects matter. Okay. So basically, in Spanish, you would say the house, or if you want to say in plural, you would say the houses, right? Okay, let's use that example. So in English, if you want to say the house, you would say la casa. L as in Lori, A as in apple. La casa. Now, if we're talking about multiple houses, if we're going to say the houses, we're going to say las casas. Okay? Did you get that? It's going to be L as in Lori, A as in apple, S as in Sam, and then casas, in which you are going to add an S at the end to make it plural. So this is where it gets a little trickier in Spanish, okay? In English, it doesn't matter. You say the same, even if it's feminine, masculine, or how many items, and only the word, the subject is the one that is going to tell you if it's plural or singular. In Spanish, you have to use an article that defines the gender and the number as well. It's not as complicated as the conjugation of the I am and you are and all that. It's more, it's simple, but still you want to learn it. So if we use the same example with puerta, it would be la puerta, las puertas, which is the door, the doors. Okay, so la puerta, las puertas. Now let's use the same example with cocina, the kitchen. La cocina, the kitchens, las cocinas. Now, sala in English would be the living room. In Spanish would be la sala. And if we're talking about plural, it would be las salas. Now, let's use an example that is a masculine. Wait a second. Let me find it. Okay, comedor. Okay, so comedor, if you look at the words, all the other words end with an A, which in most of the cases with a very few exceptions, means that the gender is feminine, or, So let's do comedor. In English, it would be the dining room. In Spanish, it would be el, the same word you use, for a person too, but it's not going to have an accent. It's going to be just el. E as an elephant, L as in lorry. El comedor. Now, take notes in here because this is where it gets tricky. On the masculine, when you are going to, this is basically the difference. The singular is el comedor. Now, when we're going to go in the masculine also, but plural, if we're going to say the dining rooms, it's going to be los, L-O-S, L as in Lori, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam. Los comedores. And then, as you can see, on the masculine, we always have to add an E and an S after the, at the end of the word. When it's a feminine female word, it's going to have to be only an S. But when it's a masculine word, normally we have to add ES. E as an elephant, S as in Sam. I hope I am making sense on this. But if I'm not, please send me an email and tell me, what are you talking about? And I will be happy to go and say it again. Or if you want me to go over it again. We are going to have plenty of examples in the future, though, that we're going to use it a lot. So you're going to be able to continue practicing. You have a lot of words right now that you can practice with. But let's do another one, el baño. So el baño is also a masculine. And that is E as an elephant, L as in lorry, and then baño. Now, if we're going to do the plural, we are going to do, okay, what? Tell me. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I hear you clear and loud. So yeah, we're going to say L as in Lori, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam, los baños. And we're adding an S only at the end. And you know what? I'm gonna try to remember, hopefully. So I'm gonna try to put the plural on the words now from now on. When I send you, subjects, I'm gonna try to send you the singular and the plural, so you have both options and you start getting familiar with both forms of the word. Okay. So, okay, I think this, this is going to be the most complicated thing that we're going to talk about today. And I'm gonna teach you another 5 words. And the only reason why I'm doing that is to give you more examples for you to practice this thing that we just have learned. Okay, well, like I said, let me go over these other 5 words, and that's gonna be good because we're gonna use it as examples, to use el, la, los, las, and all that. Okay, so the next word is going to be elevator. Okay, this is basically a bonus word because you say it almost the same way in English and Spanish. Okay. Spelling is pretty much the same. E as an elephant, L as in Lori, E as an elephant, V as in Victor, A as in apple, D as in dog, O as in Oscar, R as in rabbit. Elevador. Do you see the only difference that this word has from the English word is D as in dog. In English, it's a T as in tomato. Do you see that? Elevador, elevator. Okay, so basically this is a bonus word. But now let's use the examples. So let's suppose that we are saying the elevator. Let's say that you ask somebody, where are the elevators? Oh no, where is the elevator? Okay, that would be ¿dónde está el elevador? Okay, you see, I'm giving you enough tools. Now you can actually ask the questions the right way, using all the elements to formulate all your questions. Okay, ¿dónde está El elevador. Awesome. Okay. So let's go with the next word, which is also very similar to English, not quite as similar as elevator, but the next word is going to be escalators or stairs. More basically stairs. Okay. So stairs is going to be in Spanish sounds more like escalators, basically, but so you spell it E as in elephant, S as in Sam, C as in cat, A as in apple, L as in Larry, E as in elephant, R as in rabbit, E as in apple, A as in apple, sorry, S as in Sam. Escaleras, escalera, escalera. So that's the way that you say stairs, escalera. Now, let me tell you. So if you're talking about your regular stairs, like inside a house or even the little stuff that you use to go above your roof and check on the gutters or whatever it is, and also the escalators is all said the same way, escaleras. So if you know how to say escaleras, that's going to mean all three of them. Now, the difference on all three of them would be that on the case of the escalators, those we call them escaleras, and then eléctricas. Probably, yeah, let's teach you how to spell that word. Escaleras eléctricas, and all that means is electric escalators per se. All they're doing is in Spanish, you differentiate the type of stairs by saying that those escaleras are electric, right? They're not your regular escalators. So that's the way, okay? But same thing. If you go and you are at a mall in Mexico, because, yep, there's malls everywhere. Mexico, Honduras, Latin America, Spain, everywhere you're going to find malls. If you are at the mall and you ask somebody, ¿Dónde están las escaleras? It doesn't matter if you don't say eléctricas. Regardless of that, they are going to point you towards any escalators that the mall might have. Because normally at malls, well, no, there's some malls that have regular stairs also, but they're very few. Most of the malls have those electric, those escalators. And even if you just say, ¿Dónde están las? Remember, it's feminine and it's plural. Even if you're talking about only one, for some reason, it becomes just plural. Maybe because it has a lot of steps. I don't know. ¿Dónde están las escaleras? When it's electric, normally you use that. And they're going to point you towards, where they are. Hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe the reason why they call them escaleras and make it plural is because normally when you find those escalators, it's normally one up and one down. What do you think? I think so. Okay, so let's make a pause right here because I want to tell you, I want to disclaim again. Sorry, I have to do it every episode. So I want to tell you that I'm not a Spanish teacher. Okay, I am a native Spanish native speaker, and I love languages, and I love sharing with you in a more informal way than a regular class. I guess this is the way that I learned English too. You know what I mean? More than being in a school setting, I learned by asking, listening, memorizing, and trying to understand rules and exceptions. And so, guys, I want to tell you, most of people say that only when you're a kid you can learn the languages really easy because your brain is fresh, blah blah blah. Yes, it's true. I'm not saying it's not. However, it's not impossible to learn it when you're an adult. I came to the United States when I was 24, and I started actually learning English probably, I don't know, 25, 26. I have no clue, little by little. And so I did it as an adult. And if I did it, anybody can do it. Okay. So I want you to be very positive about the fact that anybody, it does not matter what your age is. I think that this way of learning Spanish is going to be easier for people that, get bored with the typical lesson where the teacher is, okay, repeat after me. La, 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 la. You know what I mean? This is more like, okay, so if you get tired, you say, okay, Karla, shut up, pause me. And then you go and get some, milk or water or whatever. And then you come back and then you continue, right? It's just easier. But okay, so that's all I wanted to say. So let's continue. So we have elevator and escaleras, elevador y escaleras. Okay, so you can ask the same question at the mall. ¿Dónde está el elevador? ¿Dónde están las escaleras? Okay, so after disclaiming all that, then let's go back to the next word. And that's going to be departamento, and that means apartment. So if you want to ask somebody, what is your apartment number or whatever, so you're going to use this word. Okay, so departamento is spelled D as in dog, E as in elephant, P as in pole, A as in apple, R as in rabbit, T as in tomato, A as in apple, M as in Mary, E as in elephant, N as in Nancy, T as in tomato, O as in Oscar. Departamento. I know, right? That's such a long word, man. Okay, let's do it again because you probably might have missed a letter or two. So D as in dog, E as in elephant, P as in Paul, A as in apple, R as in Romeo, T as in tomato, A as in apple, M as in Mary, E as in elephant, N as in Nancy, T as in tomato, and O as in Oscar. Departamento. Okay, so this one, say for example, you can ask somebody, you can say, where is the apartment? Okay, and that would be, ¿dónde está el apartamento? El departamento, sorry. ¿Dónde está el departamento? Now, what if you want to ask somebody, where is their apartment? What is your apartment? It's a neighbor that you met at I'm imagining, oh my God. Okay. So let's imagine that you go and check the mail and then you meet this person and you want to know what is their apartment number, so you can go and hang out with them or visit or whatever, right? So see, I'm here trying to teach you Spanish and I'm already starting like a soap opera here, right? So anyways, okay, so then you would ask, ¿dónde está tu departamento? Tú, basically your, right? ¿Dónde está tu, tu departamento? ¿Dónde está tu departamento? Okay? But if you're going to talk just about a general apartment, then it would be ¿dónde está el departamento? Okay? Cool. Okay, so let's go with the next word. And that one is going to be piso. Okay, piso means basically floor. The floor in your house where you walk every day is called floor or piso. But also, same as in English, when you're talking about, say, for example, you are in a hotel and you're asking somebody, in which floor are you? Well, same thing in Spanish. ¿Qué? Or you have to say, ¿en qué piso estás? And that the word piso is spelled P as in potato, I as in igloo, S as in Sam, O as in Oscar, piso. So, like I said, in which floor are you? You can say, ¿en cuál piso estás? And you remember all those words. The only one that you don't know is en, which basically, if you translate it, it would be like in. Like if you say, in which floor are you? So then it's the same. En, E as an elephant, N as in Nancy, which, you remember which, it was from episode 2, right? Which means cuál, cuál. C as in cat, U as in umbrella, A as in apple, L as in Larry. In which floor, en cuál piso estás? And estás means, or it would mean like you are you? Because like I told you, estás already has the you included in it. Okay? You cannot say en cuál piso estás tú. I mean, I guess you could, but it would sound a little weird. The right way to say it is en cuál piso estás. Putting the two would be not necessary. Estás includes the two or the you. Okay? All right. So then piso can be used both ways. It can be used to describe the floor of your house, and also can be used to ask in which floor things are, your room in a hotel or your apartment or whatever. Okay. Now the next one is going to be patio. Patio in Spanish means more your backyard. Okay. That's basically what describes more the word patio, and it's spelled exactly the same way that is spelled in English. P as in potato, A as in apple, T as in tomato, I as in igloo, O as in Oscar. And it sounds, the T has a stronger sound. Instead of saying patio, you're going to say patio, patio, patio. So the T is a little stronger, patio. And like I said, that means your backyard. Normally when people have like birthday parties in their house, the parties are back outside in the backyard. That's el patio. ¿Dónde está el patio? ¿Dónde está el patio? ¿Dónde está el patio? Okay, so basically we have learned all these words, and your homework, I'm still going to talk to you about something different, but on this case, your homework is going to be using all these words with your where is the blah blah blah. Okay, you can ask yourself all those questions. I'm going to give you a few examples per se. You can say, ¿dónde está la casa? ¿Dónde está la ventana? ¿Dónde está el comedor? And do also the plural. ¿Dónde están las casas? So I want you to use all these words whenever you can. And if you cannot do it, that's all right. Just read them for your own, just for you to remember to try to relate them for the next lesson. Now, I do want to talk about something. You remember last week we were talking about when you talk about the people, right? And we were saying that ella es una señora, él es un señor, and all that. Okay, so I don't want to leave behind or outside of this topic something that I was just made aware of, and this would be about this new trend, or maybe just started being more open nowadays. So let's talk about, say, non-binary people, or people don't binary people that they don't want to be described as feminine or masculine. So in Spanish, the same way that here we use they, you remember that? Okay, so I'm going to teach you. how we do it in Spanish as well. Because if that situation, comes and you are like, oh, what am I going to say? Well, I want you to know what to say because this is just our world. And I'm totally respectful, you guys. Um, I'm the type of person that doesn't judge. I live and I want everybody to live happy. You know what I mean? And so, to me, we all need to be aware about the way we need to speak about and talk with so people understand that we are respectful to them. And so, okay, so let's do an example like that. So let's say we're talking about in this case. Remember what you say, ella, and for a masculine you say él. Okay, so when we're talking about the non-gender, we're gonna do E as in elephant, L as in lorry, L as in lorry, E as in elephant, and that would mean kind of like if you're saying ella, it would be ella, and that would be a singular non-gender. Ella es pequeño per se. Now, on the description word that you're gonna use, is going to be a little tricky as well. So what you're going to do is the last vowel on the word, you are going to change it to an E. Okay? So say, for example, we are talking about a kid. So we would say, L or ella es un niño. You see what I mean? So we have to, or ella es niña. Okay, that might sound a little confusing, but all I'm telling you is all you need to do is change the end letter or the final letter to an E. Now, is this going to be something that you're going to use a lot? I don't know. That's going to depend. But, if you go on vacation, and most of the time, people are not going to be upset with you if you don't know. Say, for example, I'm blind, and sometimes I can't tell, who are who or what. So my thing is I call everybody honey at work, honey or sweetie. So that way, because I can't really see, their faces or tell, the difference. So I just want to be respectful to everybody. And that's the reason why I wanted to touch on these and be sure that you have an idea, because probably you can see well. And if you happen to see, a person and you know that, or they say they don't identify on on any of the genders, okay, then if it's you just add the E at the end of the word and then you're gonna be safe. And when you're talking about, you just say ella, and that would cover both genders. Okay, if you are talking about plural, you say ellas, and that way you're gonna be covering the both genders and plural. Okay. And like I said, the word is spelled E as an elephant, L as in lorry, L as in lorry, E as an elephant. And if you want to do plural, you just add an S as in Sam at the end of the word and do edges. And then, of course, ella es niñe, or you can say ellas son. You remember that word on the plural? S as in Sam, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy. Ellas son niñas. And most of the time, you just need to change the last word, letter of your word, and that would get you there. Okay. Like I said, this is just something that I wanted to touch because we had the lesson last time, and I really didn't want to confuse you more by showing you this. But after you probably have already reviewed episode 4, and you have a better idea of how things work, then this is something that you want to keep in mind just in case that you are on this situation. Then you can actually or have an idea of how to set your words, and you can interact also on these circumstances. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. So now, before we go, I want to tell you that next podcast, we are going to talk about Christmas. Okay. We are going to talk about everything related to Christmas. Why? Because it's going to be that Monday before Christmas. So if you're going to take a cruise to, spend Christmas, New Year, and all that in there, then you're going to learn how to say all the stuff that you're going to have to use. You know what I mean? Like Christmas tree and dinner and this and that. So we are going to, to do that. I want to touch also. So please don't miss it next week. And I promise the sound is going to be much better. And so you can hear me, better. And if there is anything that you couldn't understand or it didn't sound good and you want me to go back on it to it, please let me know, and I will be happy to do that. I somebody that listens to the podcast sent me this question via text. Somebody that I know, and I think it's very valid. So even though this is not the lesson for it, I'm going to tell you. Okay. So how do you say I love you in Spanish? Okay. And this is the answer. In Spanish, there is two ways to say I love you. Okay. If you are talking to your friend, your cousin, this is more like a I love you to somebody that it's not like your couple or your partner or your kids. Okay. Somebody, okay. So your partner or your kids, your couple, your husband, your wife, your partner or your kids. I mean, your parents, maybe. This would be te amo. And that would be T as in tomato, E as in elephant, space, A as in apple, M as in Mary, O as in Oscar. Te amo. That means I love you to somebody that is really, 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 really close to you. Okay. Now, when you're talking to your friends, when you're, going having fun, and then you say, this is so much fun. I love you. Okay. So that you say, te quiero. T as in tomato, E as in elephant, space, Q as in Quebec, U as in umbrella, I as in igloo, E as in elephant, R as in Robert, O as in Oscar. Te quiero. Now, if you listen to these, both of these phrases, te amo and te quiero, you notice that it starts with T as in tomato, E as in elephant. This doesn't mean it doesn't say two, but when you say te, you are actually implying two. Okay, this is another way that you say two without saying it. So you just use te when you are trying to imply that you per se love this person. Te quiero is you. You can also say I miss you, te extraño. You can also say te odio, I hate you. You know what I mean? You use te for to say you also. En te quiero, okay, so the word quiero also means want, okay? But I'm going to leave that in there because I wasn't actually going to cover this, but it was just because somebody sent me that question and I figured, hey, maybe other people are trying to, find, tell somebody they love them. So I just wanted to touch base on this. So te amo, something really close, somebody really close to you. And te quiero is just, like a friend, but not as close as, that unconditional love that a mom from a kid or a dad for a kid, or I don't know. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain. And there are some friends that you might have that unconditional love. I don't know. But basically, that's the general idea. There's basically one is more intense than the other one, I guess you could say. And um, somebody told me that in Greek, there's 4 ways to say I love you. Don't ask me which those are because I have no clue. but I just heard that and I said, oh wow, that's complicated. So anyways, that's all I wanted to tell you. And hopefully that was cleared, and hopefully you can use that for whatever you need to use it. Okay, so with this I want to thank you so much for listening to our episode today, episode number 5. Please don't forget that we have Christmas episode next week. Yoo-hoo! And again, thank you so very much for being here with us today. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Until next time, hasta pronto. Bye bye. Adios.